This is the PR Podcast, a show about how public relations helps you tell your story to the world. We talk with great PR practitioners who have the skills, creativity, and just plain savvy to get their clients noticed. Now here's your host, Jody Fisher.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the PR Podcast. I'm Jody Fisher. Thanks for joining us. Well, don't forget to join my Instagram Live now at a new time on Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. I used to do it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was easy for me, but lots of people just couldn't make it on, right? So we're going to try to do this in the evening instead now. Maybe at a time where more people can make it on, because we really want to have that back and forth conversation. I love that. I thrive on that. And I want to hear what you guys are thinking. You don't need to hear from me. I want to hear from you. So that's Instagram Live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on my personal Instagram channel at Jody Fisher _. I got the little underscore there because Jody Fisher wasn't available. But you can find me. Just type it on in. Now let's get on with our show for today. We have a really interesting guest. Rajesh Kari is a global business leader and vice president at leading global IT services company InfoVision Inc. and at an AI-powered media monitoring platform, AlphaMetricx. Rajesh has more than 2 decades of experience with well-known global brands, just as some small ones like Nike and McDonald's and Energizer. Driven by a passion for combining human expertise and AI to generate transformative insights, he led AlphaMetrix's development strategy and go-to-market planning. The importance of answering the why and not just the what is what drives him. Rajesh, welcome to the PR Podcast.
Thanks for the great introduction, Jody. Great to be here.
All right, so AI is in our lives already, right? It was kind of coming a couple of years ago, and maybe for you even further back than that. Why don't we start there? Tell us how old AI is. I think a lot of people think it's maybe a couple years old, but this is a decade or more in the making, right?
Absolutely. I think AI has been there for a lot of decades, and it was very evident early years. I would say, let's say Google search, the algorithms they were using and learning about the searches people were doing, and it has gotten better and better over time, right? So AI has been there in our lives for a long term, and we have just not realized it over time, right? And one thing what we have seen in today's world is, AI has been fraught with inaccuracies, and people may find it risky. As a person coming out of technology and research, we see a lot of potential, but what AI is currently there is a high chances of AI making mistakes, right? Because machine learning may not be perfect all the time, but it is going to get there, right? So as AI's role in the larger scheme of things, I feel AI is an enabler and not a replacement for human intelligence as it stands today. So in the future, we would say that humans with AI may replace humans without AI, right? So the focus is still on humans and human intelligence. So AI has been there for a long time, but I think it can only go to the next level with the support of human intelligence.
That's a great way to look at it. And I'm so glad to hear you say that, because I think when AI came on the scene, whether it's a year or 2 or 3 ago, everyone was kind of jumping off of buildings, figuratively, obvious, not literally, but saying, "Oh my God, it's going to replace the machines are going to replace us." And there were all the Skynet, Terminator jokes about the computers taking over and everything. You don't see it that way, right?
Absolutely. I think AI is still very nascent. What the scary thing, maybe a decade away or something, but I think it is I think everybody's responsibility to ensure that we are using AI in the right direction. Government policies kind of can make sure that it is secure. People who are building it should be building ethical AI. So I think it's everybody's responsibility to ensure that AI is built in the right direction.
How did you personally get into using AI, and how did you get into doing what you're doing today? When did you first come in contact with AI?
So I have done my undergrad in computer science, maths, and electronics, and then I did my master's in business administration. So post that, I had worked with a lot of clients, and my main role was solutioning and a lot of business development for US-based companies. and it had went on to close to, I would say, 10 to 12 years, right? After that, currently I work at InfoVision. It's a Dallas-based company, almost 30 years. So at InfoVision, when I started my journey, I started with establishing the insight services, right? So providing services to Fortune 500 companies, large and mid-sized companies. But the objective was to provide insights to PR professionals, to consumer insights professionals. That was my whole aim. But as working in this services space and using a lot of tools over the last 15 years, I saw a movement of clients wanting to get the insights more in the real time basis. They did not want an analyst to work for 4 weeks or 2 weeks and then come back to it, because there was immense pressure of having insights much faster. So that was one of the key reasons where uh, I started focusing on how can we productize the services, right? And that was the first step. And we started with public relations. So AlphaMetricx is the AI-powered insights tool, and it is catered to the PR audience. And we have a self-service tool where a PR professional can go in and start using it. The objective of that is that we are able to provide not just what is happening, but focus on why is it happening, right? So a lot of traditional media tools in the world today where you can look at what stories are going on, but a PR professional today wants to be on top of everything and want to know why exactly is this a crisis? What is the narrative of the story I've been pushing and what has changed that? So being on top of things, I think this whole journey from understanding client problems over 12 years, starting a services division, and then productizing that services because clients wanted information in a real-time basis. And I think AI kind of helped with that.
Yeah, it's a funny double-edged sword for the PR industry because on the one hand, PR people are very much about the human connection and the one-to-one pitching and the talking to the reporter and the managing the story. On the other hand, there's so much that goes on in the background of public relations, whether it's, consuming the media that you want to be in, understanding what reporters are writing what, when, and how, and why, or even finding coverage and assimilating that for the consumption of a client. And I would think that that's where AI is really welcome. Is that where AlphaMetricx is honed in?
So I think artificial intelligence in PR, I've seen a lot of tools and services where they are able to generate press releases, right? Or they are doing some repetitive work for PR uh, professionals. However, the human element, as you said, is will continue to remain irreplaceable because PR people are the people who are able to provide that strategic decision, right? And making that unique, compelling stories. I think the PR person can make that. How do you create those compelling stories today? So we are not in the field of, I would say, replacing a PR person who is creating a strategy for a brand or a story for the brand and try to reach the audiences. Our objective is to support this PR professional where we can make the person more intelligent in a real-time basis, right? How can they, I would say, using AI today, companies can transform media analytics into their strategic advantages. Like they should not be just monitoring the narratives, but also they should be shaping them in this competitive world, right? So our objective is to see how can a PR professional who has been in the media trying to protect their company's client's brand or their own brand, and then see how we can make it easier for them with insights, which can make it easier for them to kind of change the narrative.
Yeah, turning data into actionable strategies is really at the heart, I guess, of using any platform, including one that's powered by AI like AlphaMetricx. how do you grab that data? Where are you grabbing it? And I'm not asking you to, like give any proprietary information away here, but help me understand how you grab that data, where it's coming from, and how it gets assimilated to a place where a PR professional can look at it on their screen and say, "Oh, here's what's going on, or here's what I need to do." Is it a graph? Is it a chart? Is it written information? What is it?
So in AlphaMetrix, you want to go ahead and understand what's going on. We have something known as Alpha Query Builder. So everything starts with a prompt. AI has to be prompted in the correct way so that it can give you the right insight and result. So we have built a data science ML model, and at the core of the real-time processing, right? So it's a combination of traditional NLP models, and we have probably like 9 to 10 models which we are working. Every aspect has a different model. Like sentiment, we are looking at a particular NLP model which can identify sentiment, and NLP is not Gen AI, right? It's a more traditional form of AI. And then let's say for identifying entities like Fisher, right? So identifying people like you in the data, we use another NLP for that. So a combination of NLP and then the generative AI, which has come up, we are able to kind of build a very complex data science layer on top of it, and it is customized. So we use the existing Gen AI models which are there, but we kind of customize that to ensure that we are making it easier for PR professionals to get that insight. And if you see, artificial intelligence today, if you make a search, Jody, a lot of the sources is earned media. The stories or the insights what you get, and if you see those references and sources, they're coming from earned media. So artificial intelligence increasingly relies on earned media to inform their algorithms and outputs, and then underscoring pretty much the importance of the credibility, the organic content in today. So I would say earned media is very important, and artificial intelligence uses that further to learn from it and then derive insights. And a notable example is Google recently partnered with AP, right? And the reason they partnered with AP because I think earned media's value is very high, and that can provide insights faster, right? So the collaboration ensures that AI provides users with up-to-date and reliable content, highlighting, that there's a critical role for earned media in AI applications. So I would say uh, our tool, AlphaMetrix, is definitely totally based on earned media. And then we also have blogs, forums, and reviews and other data forms. But all of these data comes in when somebody is prompting a question. And based on the question, the information comes on. An example I'll give you is a volume chart, right? So when somebody prompts a question, AlphaMetrix goes ahead and looks into millions of data points based on the question, and it throws out a dashboard. And in the dashboard, for example, a volume trend, you can go to a volume trend chart and say, today is January 24th, and I see a peak in the coverage. So you can go inside January 24th, and at a click of a button, you can understand why is it high than other days of in January. So this is the data sources, the technology, and then how PR professionals can use it. We are also, I think, any tool or platform cannot be said, we cannot say that, hey, the tool is ready and it's going to remain same. It is always going to be evolving, and we are trying to be at a stage where, let's say, a customer should be able to, using voice, ask a question, and the tool gives a data backed answers to the customer.
You mentioned it a couple of it all sounds fascinating. You mentioned it a couple of times about about giving the AI prompts. And I think that's a real hang up in anybody who's using AI in any form is understanding how to ask the right question. What are some examples? I don't want to put you on the spot here, but I'm going to put you on the spot here. Could you talk through maybe what are some good prompts? What is the right way to prompt AI? And maybe give an example too of what is a lousy way to prompt? Because I think that's people's maybe frustration and they get back bad results because they don't understand how to ask the right question.
Yes, I think great question, Jody. In AlphaMetrix, we have taken out the headache of a way to prompt it. So when they are interacting with our query builder, so in the PR analytics world, it has been working on Boolean operators all this while. You put in keywords or a set of keywords. Sometimes in pharma, there could be 1,000 keywords because it's so complex with disease categories and things like that. So I would say in AlphaMetricx, let's say you want to start with any brand name, let's say Kia. So you put in Kia, and then uh, the the chatbot would start giving you some features, some entities of Kia, right? And then you can start writing those prompts, and the query builder continues to guide you with that. So we have made it very easy for anybody to build a query using AlphaMetricx. And let's say I start with Kia, add all the current features, and then I try to change it to electric vehicles. Then I say that focus only on electric vehicles. So I'm just prompting one word, couple of words, and the query builder keeps on transforming that and then start building those Boolean queries. So at the current stage, we have been very successful in making it very easy for our customers in prompting. And then from there, they're able to build the Boolean queries to get the desired results. At the same time, when our engineers have initially coded the prompts on how the information should be coming, now that's a very complex process which our engineers are doing at the back end, right? So we have made it easier for our customers, but the output, what you see is a combination of the queries the customers put in and the prompting what our engineers have done at the back end. And combination of both of this kind of gives out a great result.
It's really interesting, and I'm sure that AI is going to further drive how PR professionals operate, both how we create ideas, how we connect with reporters, how we deliver results to our clients. What is the future from your perspective? What's the future of AI in public relations?
I would say from the business, what I am in terms of insights, in the future, I would say you should be able to just ask a question to AI in whatever form you can. You don't have to pretty much learn the right way of prompting. In the future, a PR professional should be able to ask a question as simple as, how did my brand do against last quarter? What's working and what's not working, right? A simple question like this should be able to derive some very critical information coming out of AI and with minimal interaction with the tool, right? So I think that is where the future is. There is definitely a human element of customizing this, uh, but it should be as easy as talking to somebody, right? And you're able to get what you need. I think that is probably we're going to achieve that probably in the next 5 years or maybe faster. But that is where the future is. You don't have to log into a tool and understand and get insights. It would be as easy as a phone call.
Just amazing. We're going to watch it very, very closely. Rajesh, this has been a great conversation. Thanks so much for explaining all this to us. We are not done with you yet, however. We are going to segue now into the rapid fire question portion of our podcast. This is where we steal a page from inside the actor's studio. We ask our guests a series of rapid fire questions meant to elicit a simple answer, maybe a laugh or two. I think we'll get one out of you with your indulgence, Rajesh Kari. Let's begin with rapid fire question number one. What's your favorite news source?
So I think every morning I get up and the first thing I pick up is my iPhone. So I would say Apple News.
Yeah, you like Apple News? I use it every now and then. It's always popping up on my phone.
Yeah, I think that's the first thing I pick up, and the news is my first screen. So I kind of get into a story and see what's happening.
Apple News is, and I want you to answer this from, I'm sorry, we're going to get off the rapid fire question here. From the perspective of teaching the phone or teaching Apple News what you like to read, is that a form of AI?
I think when you go ahead and open the app in Apple News and you kind of click on different news items, it will learn over time of what kind of news stories you are learning. I do not know the back end of Apple News, but
Yeah.
normally that's how things operate. The more you, let's say Netflix, the kind of videos or movies you watch, and that's how, and you like, that's what kind of gets shown to you always.
Sounds good. Rapid fire question number 2. What's your favorite social media platform?
I would say LinkedIn. I was into business development for a long time, and then now I kind of manage a P&L. I would say that's been a great place for me to be in touch with clients, prospects, understand. And I've been on LinkedIn for a long, long time. So, it's a great tool where people can connect.
Love it. Rapid fire question number 3. Coffee or alcohol?
I like coffee. I would say tea. I love the tea my wife makes. I like it in a form of, I don't know if you know it, but it's ginger tea, right? So there is some ginger in the tea and makes it really. So I think I would go with ginger tea.
That sounds fantastic. Rapid fire question number 4. What's your favorite on the run food?
Uh, my on the run food is, I would say, a latte from Starbucks. And if I want to pick up something to eat, it would be a chocolate croissant.
Starbucks has got the market cornered on those chocolate croissants. I love them. And rapid fire question number 5, Rajesh. What do you want to be after you finish this career?
I love to travel. So I would say travel the world with my wife and my daughter.
Any particular destination you have in mind?
I have done a lot of travel in India, in the US, and Canada. So I think probably South America, Europe, anywhere I have not been, probably traveling those places.
The adventurer. I love it. I love it. Rajesh, this has been a great conversation. Please let people know how they can find you online.
Sure. I think you can Google AlphaMetricx and you can find me, or you can find me on LinkedIn. My handle is K Rajesh Rao. It's KRAJESHRAO.
Sounds good. We'll put everything in the show notes as well. Thank you, Rajesh, for joining us today. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Please remember to subscribe to the show. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at The PR Podcast, and send us a question or a comment. Our intro is by Christopher Appold. You can find him and his fantastic photography on Instagram at Christopher_APPOLDT. Check him out there and hire him for all your photography needs. You can find me online at Jody Fisher on all the socials and on the web at jodyfisherpr.com. We'll see you next time on the PR Podcast.